a lot about Tom Nielsen. And I just spent perhaps 10 minutes oh, I'm sorry, can you hear now? Here's the confession. I didn't know much about Tom Nielsen until about a half an hour ago when I sat and talked to him for 10 minutes. And I can tell you that there is no way to introduce this man in less than an hour. He's got to be one of the most interesting people that I've ever met. I also suspect hearing from him some of the things that he's done, including awards that he's been nominated for and people that he's known, that he's also probably one of the most talented people I've ever met. Here's how he describes himself. A farm boy with a guitar who says that the smell of cow shit is perfect. The thing that I'd heard about him was people had said that he was the Jon Stewart of folk music, which says it all. People used to say about Simon and Garfunkel that when they recorded their first album, the IQ of America went up 10 points. Your IQ is going to go up at least 15 points tonight. I want you to welcome Tom Nielsen.
We're gonna pop unless we get this turned down. This is gonna pop when I put in. Suzanne? Suzanne, this is gonna pop when I put this in. All right, here we go. Close your ears. All right. Corporations are human, I just found out. Now, this is a serious song. What being human is all about. Citizens United, ancestral line. Their corporate gene is different from mine. Well, the science is in, there's nothing to doubt. They never get cancer, gonorrhea, or gout. Encephalitis, cystitis, neuropathy, colitis, hepatitis, A, B, and C. Fibrosis, sclerosis, and heart disease. Halitosis, cirrhosis, and a pair of bad knees. They don't need a dentist or protection with sex. And they live forever, it's not that complex. Corporations are human, I just found out what being human is all about. Citizens United, ancestral line. Their corporate gene is different from mine. People have faces and socks in a drawer. Corporations are faceless here and offshore. If you think corporations bought free speech before, now that they're human, they'll buy even more. Yeah, their money has free speech, to me quite a shock. 'Cause I never heard my money talk. When a corporation has a colonoscopy, then I'll now believe they're human like me. Thank you. What I said was the smell of cow manure and silage releases endorphins for me. That's right. When you grow up with it, all is right with the world. So, there's got to be something we can do with these characters. Now, I'm no fan of our penal system by any means, but there's got to be some place to put these folks. Now, back in the days of Nixon, we had special jails for Haldeman and the Ehrlichman, Dean for a couple months. Remember what those jails were called? Who said Country Club? What's your name? Give it up for Debbie in Country Club jails. That's right. Now, Debbie, we have culture or we have bling. What do you want for your prize? All right, Roseanne, can you deliver the bling to Debbie, please? What color? All right, well, I've got this one right here. It's February. So, Allenwood Jail. Let's give it up for Roseanne. Hey. Allenwood Jail in Pennsylvania was where they sent a lot of these folks. Now, we had heard, let's just back up a minute. Why did they call them country club jails? What did they have? Who said golf course? Culture, Linda? I guess give it up for Linda. All right. Linda, do you want bling or? Okay. Roseanne, you might have to stay up here. All right, it's February and the red is going out. Okay. So we called up Phil. This is a Phil Hose song. And Phil is from Maine. He's a wonderful friend and singer-songwriter. And we get a guard on the phone at the prison, and the guard goes, this is, Sergeant so-and-so, this is being recorded. And Phil goes, is it true? We heard that you had a golf course at the jail. And the guard's a little halting. He's almost apologetic. He goes, well, it's only 9 holes. They found my name in a Swiss account, written on a check for a large amount. They said I stole our pension plan. I faced the judge, a guilty man. I'm just a CEO from a Fortune 5. Among hardened men, how can I survive? I said, oh, Judge, what'll be my time? You said 30 days on the hardback 9. Oh, tell my mama not to wail. Tell my accountants not to go my bail. And you can tell my lawyers to send my mail to Suite 13 at the Allenwood Jail. We're all going to do that next time. They got no bars for me to try. The only stripes are on my tie. But 9 holes a day in the burning sun makes a man think twice about what he's done. Tell my mama, oh, tell my mama not to wail, not to wail. Tell my accountants, tell my accountants, go my bail, not to go my bail. Tell my lawyers, you can tell my lawyers to send my mail to Sweet 13 at the Allenwood jail. Now late at night, we convicts stay up late, trading tips on stocks and interest rates. I met president's men, met CPAs, ran out of my cards in the first 2 days. Tell my mama, oh, tell my mama not to wail, accountants, tell my accountants bail, not to go my bail. Tell my lawyers, you can tell my lawyers to send my mail to Sweet 13 at the Allenwood jail. They set me free out in the yard. I hugged the chef and I tipped the guard, and I left that joint a different man with a softer heart and a deeper tan. Tell my mama, oh, tell my mama not to wail, accountants, tell my accountants bail, not to go my bail. And you can tell my lawyers to send my mail to Sweet 13 at the Allenwood jail. Sweet 13 at the Allenwood jail. Where is it now? Thank you. So Lynn Marie, come on up here. Let us welcome Lynn Marie. Did you do that?
I have the power. She said to tell you to turn up your EQ or something like that.
Say that in front of all these people.
I almost forgot.
They'll hurt it to my guitar. Well, my apologies here. If paying taxes is to you a hassle, just do the Geithner, Hillefer, and Daschle. If paying taxes is to you contrary, you could become a cabinet secretary. Oh, it's business as usual in Washington, D.C. There's rules for the rich, rules for you and me. If you're rich, they put $1 billion at your feet. If you're poor, they put your feet out in the street. When those corporate financiers belly up financially, they get an easy $1 trillion from the U.S. Treasury to spend on beaches, bonuses, and spas. It's a given when it's you who make the laws. Oh, it's business as usual in Washington, D.C. There's rules for the rich, rules for you and me. If you're rich, they put $1 billion at your feet. If you're poor, they put your feet out in the street. For healthcare, education, or a loan, we got that low-income chromosome. It's just genetic disposition to be in this position, and Congress says leave well enough alone. Oh, it's business as usual in Washington, D.C. There's rules for the rich, rules for you and me. If you're rich, they put $1 billion at your feet. If you're poor, they put your feet out in the street. If they catch me with a J or 2 or 3, they lock me up and throw away the key. But if I steal some oil Iraqi, that's just U.S. free trade diplomacy. Oh, it's business as usual in Washington, D.C. There's rules for the rich, rules for you and me. If you're rich, they put $1 billion at your feet. If you're poor, they put your feet out in the street. Oh yeah, it's business as usual in Washington, D.C. There's rules for the rich, rules for you and me. If you're rich, they put $1 billion at your feet. If you're poor, they put your feet out in the street. Thank you. Well, let's go back to the endorphins. I was born and raised on a little dairy farm in upstate New York. And we lost our farm, actually, when I was quite young. And my brother and I grew up working on everybody else's farm, my uncle's in particular. And I wrote this when one of the farmers to the North Martin had a stroke. And was driving in my truck, and I just got the letter from my mom, and I pulled over on the banks of the Sawmill River, and I wrote this. But 4 o'clock in the any farmers here? Children of farmers, grandchildren of farmers? Far out. So, dairy farmers? So people here have called cows before? Do we have any? A little louder, a little. Let's hear your cabosses now. I'll do mine too. All right, and they all came running, and so at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you'd hear the dogs barking, and you hear all these cabosses up and down the valley, and it was hard. It was quite hard being having a small family farm. And first the men got jobs off the farm. My grandfather, we had a 3-generation farm. My grandfather died at 54 because he worked from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. at the war factory, and then came home and did the farming. And I always wondered when that man slept. And my brother and I would work for farmers that were working first shift, second shift, and we would do whatever they needed doing, you know, because farming itself is a full-time job. So they had 2 full-time jobs. The men died young. And without getting into all the metaphysics of the political economy and what happened to the small farm, this is called 4-lane highways and mobile homes. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the border collies call. Martin's on his John Deere, Monty's yelling his caboose. Barn doors open up for Holsteins, each one knows her place. Catch a tail with dried manure, whisk across your face. Catch a tail with dried manure, whisk across your face. Music on the radio plays a country tune, and rhythm with the milking machine and sweeping with the broom. We put in hay till midnight so we could beat the rain. This farm is family, don't know no other name. This farm is family, don't know no other name. They brought the bulk tank and the corporation truck, And one by one, the creameries in all the towns dried up. The GLF SO station and the general store and the D&H haul and freight don't stop here anymore. The D&H haul and freight don't stop here anymore. I watch our fields go to 4-lane highways and mobile homes. The kids don't see no future and they're gone before they're grown. Can't imagine what the cost, how to measure what we've lost. When our fields go to 4-lane highways and mobile homes, go to 4-lane highways and mobile homes. The swimming hole at Lover's Lane, where we used to go to take a dip, for hanging out, or to watch a campfire glow. There's posted signs in our face. Don't these people know how to live in a place and not shut off the flow? Don't let our fields go to 4-lane highways and mobile homes. Parking lots and fast food spots and another banker's loan. Can't imagine what the cost, how to measure what we've lost. When our fields go to 4-lane highways and mobile homes, go to 4-lane highways and mobile homes. Late night at the factory can run a farmer down, 'cause milking cows and growing crops is full-time all around. Working hard to build a home is what these farming folk have known, till you find 'em in the Sandhill Cemetery ground. Till you find 'em in the Sandhill Cemetery ground. Don't let our fields go to 4-lane highways and mobile homes. Shopping malls, can we stop the wall from taking what we own? Can't imagine what the cost, how to measure what we've lost. When our fields go to 4-lane highways and mobile homes, go to 4-lane highways and mobile homes. Thank you. Well, you notice that we have movie cameras here tonight. And I want to thank everybody in this crew. John did an interview with me this afternoon. Asked me all sorts of precocious questions, like I might have answers for them. One of the ones he asked me was why I combined my art with my activism, how that all came together. And one of the things I didn't say on the show was, having lived for so many years outside the States, that I never heard anything in the States that was like what I experienced outside the States. It was all distorted, the network news and the cable news and the newspapers, the National Geographic, every Time magazine. It was all different from what I experienced, and that was a lot about what got me into writing these songs. And especially when I was in Somalia, I'm trying to find accurate information about Somalia. They discovered oil in Somalia just before I left, but no one ever talks about that. So what should we, oh yes, let's do Tamarack Tree here. Well, growing up on a farm does teach someone something about the weather, because we're always looking at the sky, always beating the rain and hoping that the rain comes. And we were out we had jumped trains out to Montana, and we were both pretty experienced outdoors people, and we were well equipped, and we were up above the tree line in the Bitterroot, and it was just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful fall day. And anyone here acquainted with the Rockies knows that the weather can shift like that with no warning. And one moment, it was a beautiful sunny day, and the next moment I felt this cold wind on my cheek, and I looked out to the west, and it was just dark with storm clouds, and the wind picked up, and it started to rain, and we could feel the temperature just start to bottom down. And we raced down that hill. It was too slanty, too rocky, too windy to put the tent up, and a number of things came together that really saved us. One was we got to the leeward side of the mountain. Two, there was this outcropping of rock you've seen pictures of. You hope gravity doesn't set in when you're standing underneath it. And there was this tamarack tree growing up next to it, and one of the boughs, were hitting the underside of that rock. And we stayed for 3 days through the snowstorm. And I was a little worried at first, but once we got the fire going, I knew we'd be okay. We had plenty of food, we had heat, and we had great stories. It's called Tamarack Tree. We'd been climbing 6 or 7 hours, maybe more, up above the tree line less than an hour before we'd reached the summit, and 360 look around the world was then I felt the wind turn and the clouds begin to swirl. I looked out to the west with the weather coming in. I knew we had to get to shelter before that storm begins. Careful not to slip, but we got no time to waste. Drops of rain are falling, cold wind slapping in my face. No place to pitch the tent for the rock piles and the window coming down that mountain, thinking of my next of kin. Underneath that tamarack boughs bending to the ground, give us shelter from the storm as the snow was coming down. As the snow was coming down, my body gave a shiver, it was soaking to the skin. We gathered every piece of firewood and brought it in. Linda said that dinner and a movie'd be a treat as we kicked the snow off our boots, clinging to our feet. We got that fire going pretty good and throwing heat. Linda said it's better than a movie or a treat. I put my back against that tree, she pressed hers into me, and we cocooned in sleeping bags, falling off to sleep. No place to pitch the tent for the rock piles and the window coming down that mountain, thinking of my next of kin. Underneath that tamarack boughs bending to the ground, give us shelter from the storm as the snow was coming down. As the snow was coming down. That second day I got to know my partner really well, telling every joke and rhyme and story we could tell. Oh, looking through the branches, that snow was falling fast. Linda said she'd bag a moose for the evening's repast. By day, the sun was peeking out on our abode. Moose was all devoured and was time to hit the road. And if I ever want for creature comforts that I lack, just give me one more night within that tamarack. Yeah, 5 will get you 10. If I'm back that way again, I'd climb that mountain just to spend the night. with a memory that is underneath that tree, the warmth of our bodies holding tight. Warmth of our bodies holding tight. Yeah, 5 will get you 10. If I'm back that way again, I climb that mountain just to spend the night with a memory that is underneath that tree, the warmth of our bodies holding tight. Warmth of our bodies holding tight. All right, I'll see you later. Bye now. This woman, this woman. Now don't walk away. I start talking about you. We had been going out for a month. I think that's what they call it. And there you go, walking away again. And I didn't know that she sang for a whole month. And so we were at the Hope and Olive, this restaurant in Greenfield, and I was, am I a romantic guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have been called other than that, but I'm singing show tunes to her, you know, wooing. And she starts singing harmony to the show tunes. And I stopped and I said, you didn't tell me, you never told me you sang. And what did you say? What do you think she said? No, she said, I don't. Yeah, she does now, doesn't she? Yeah. Two and a half years ago in Greenfield, it was a done deal. This wood-burning, tree-burning incinerator called a power plant from which we would get no electricity. But it was going out on the grid. Less than 0.5%. Like this teeny-weeny electricity. And what it would have done to a town that lives in a valley that already has an air problem, although it's quite a beautiful setting. And we started organizing. And this one woman, Janet St. Clair, said, will you write a song for us? And that song led to an 84% town vote that we got against it. They're still trying to do it, and we so far have stopped them. And we continue, we will stop them. They want to cut down our trees, poison the air, waste our waterway, burn a ton every minute, 60 tons an hour, 1,400 tons a day. Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and SO2. Oh, gonna find their way to your inside when you breathe that toxic stew. Siltation and soil erosion, taking cover from the land. And when all our trees are spent, it's not 0.5%. Gotta stop it while we can. 1 million gallons a day of sewage from our town to flush that boiler out. till it gets so thick you got to dump it in the river. Say goodbye to the perch, bass, and trout. This incinerator's inefficient, burns at 23%, and I've seen waste of energy. The chromosomal damage and endocrine disruption gives bioabnormalities. There are shysters who always sell snake oil. Does payola slip into a hand? 'Cause what kind of person burns up our trees, poisons the air, takes our water, our land? 'Cause what kind of person burns up our trees, poisons the air, takes our water, our land? And what do we get in exchange for our trees? Asthma and cancer and heart disease. And what do we get in exchange for our trees? Asthma and cancer and heart disease. And what do we get in exchange for our trees? Asthma and cancer and heart disease. And I want to thank the rest of the crew from today, from the TV station. Harriet is here, and Dick and Dan, and now Nick is running the camera tonight. Thank you, Nick. I want to thank Suzanne for doing the sound tonight. And we're going to hear more from Suzanne later. The largest coal ash spill in U.S. history was where? On the winter solstice morning, 2008.
There's bling in it and culture.
Anyone? Tennessee. What town? Where in Tennessee? Anyone? That's good enough for something. Something. Harrison, Tennessee. Harriman, excuse me, thank you. Harriman, Tennessee, 4 o'clock in the morning. The third time that dike had broken. First 2 times it did not get fixed appropriately, and we have heard that before. Is the Superfund cleanup site. I don't know. Can I do it up here?
I don't know.
I don't know. No. I'm getting over a pneumatic relationship that knocked me out a week ago, and I wasn't sure I would even have this sort of voice tonight. As you can see, I'm still coughing and hacking away a bit. Okay. So I have to rekey things, and old Lynn Marie, she just...
Keeps me guessing.
Solstice morning, Harriman Way. Compliments of the TVA. Break through your window, flow through your door. Fill up your home to the 2nd floor. Or 1 billion gallons of sludge and coal ash, where Kingston Fossil been keeping their stash. That coal ash pond was a ticking time bomb of chromium, cadmium, and barium. That dike blew out in '84, mixing slurry and sludge from a mountain core. It blew out again in 2003. Send a message to Harriman, Tennessee. Send a message to Harriman, Tennessee. From the Emory to the Tennessee. Oh, that spill is heading to the Ohio, down the Mississippi to the Delta. Go into the Gulf of Mexico. Boys in the Gulf of Mexico. Clean coal's a fairy tale we don't need. Just a corporate sale of pollution and greed. Arsenic, mercury, nickel, and lead, all lining the banks of the riverbed. Don't eat the fish, don't swim in the river. Water birds die just from eating their dinner. Don't drink the water, breathe the air bouquet, 'cause you're sucking coal ash from the TVA. Yeah, you're sucking coal ash from the TVA. From the Emory to the Tennessee. Oh, that spill is heading to the Ohio, down the Mississippi to the Delta. Go into the Gulf of Mexico. Boys in the Gulf of Mexico. Now Obama says that CO2 can be captured and redirected for you. The captured clean coal technology is redirecting down the Tennessee, redirecting down the Tennessee. From the Emory to the Tennessee. Oh, that spill is heading to the Ohio, down the Mississippi to the Delta. Go into the Gulf of Mexico. Boys in the Gulf of Mexico.
He won't say it, but that song won an award last year, Independent Musicians Association Song of the Year for social action.
Thank you. So the other thing we're trying to shut down is the nuke, Vermont Yankee. Now, I was talking earlier with Melissa, who I also want to thank for all of the work that you did today, and Dan and Harriet, about this, about Vermont Yankee, this rogue nuke, in a way, that they said they don't get any news about down here. Yet this nuke has had repeated accidents, leakages. First they said there were no underground pipes, and with tritium. And then, voila, the school across the road ends up with tritium in their water supply. Just a little bit, the NRC said. Then they found strontium in the fish. You haven't heard any of this in the news? There's strontium in the fish in the Connecticut River, upstream even of the Nuke. Now, we know there's strontium in the air because we've got the samples, we know, and in the soil. And then they found tritium in the Connecticut River. Now, this is the water supply, not only for Greenfield, but for every town. Not only do they drink it, but they irrigate with it. But the NRC is reassuring us that it is just a little bit. So, Lynn Marie.
So when we heard that it was just a little bit, I immediately, with apologies to Lerner and Lowe and My Fair Lady, I went, just a little bit, just a little bit. And the next thing I know, he had written the song. So.
The children. See, she's also good at remembering lyrics, too. The children go to school in Vernon, Vermont, to study science, math, and English lit. The children go to school in Vernon, Vermont, with a little bit of trit, with a little bit of trit, with a little bit of tritium. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit of trit with English lit. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit of tritium. The bass and trout are swimming in the river. If you eat one, you know what you will get. The bass and trout are swimming in the river with a little bit of trit, with a little bit of trit, with a little bit of tritium. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit of trit with English lit. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit of tritium. The NRC says not to worry, it's just a little bit of trit, that's all you get. Yankee has strontium in their soil. Yankee has strontium in the air. Yankee has strontium in the water with a little bit of trit, with a little bit of trit, with a little bit of tritium. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit of trit with English lit. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit of tritium. The NRC says not to worry, it's just a little bit of trit, that's all you get. We could have wave and wind and solar power instead of radioactivity. We could have wave and wind and solar power, not a little bit of trit, not a little bit of trit, not a little bit of tritium. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit of trit is a lit. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit of tritium. Thank you. So, I hate to see you go. Lynn Marie. Well, thank you so much. I just so love traveling and singing together. And she said she didn't sing. My goodness. Well, let's go back in time to the Republican Convention. In the year 2000 in Philadelphia, when then who was governor of Pennsylvania in 2000? Whoa, who said Tom Ridge? Right over here. Bling or music? Bling. We've got Bling right here. Thank you, Roseanne. Tom Ridge, household name. Who did Tom Ridge ordered the Pennsylvania State Police to arrest whom at the convention? What group of people? What group of people? What? Actually, I was out of the country at the time. But I'm sure he would have been looking. Anyone? The puppeteers. That's right. Puppeteers were arrested, then the police went back, confiscated all of their puppetry material, all the mache and chicken wire, and because they were a threat. 6 months later at the coronation, executive order, no puppets were allowed in the streets of Washington, D.C. 1 week later, John Ashcroft is doing his first press conference. Remember John? When he saw the AP photo, he was greatly upset because what was right here? Who said breast? You again? All right. Whose breast? Justice's breast. All right. Now the man, all right. I know you want Bling. Right? No, I want the music. Oh, you want the music. And we had the breast over here. See what that, Bling. Roseanne, what would I do without you? The breast over there wants Bling. Now, let's see. So the man could have moved the podium. He could have moved the podium over here, but what did he do? He draped it. How much, if you pay your taxes, how much did you pay for that drapery? That's close. That's close. $8,645. Bling or music? I just gave you 3 of them. Oh. That's right. You know, people ask me where I get my ideas for my songs. Quite honestly, I haven't had an original thought in years. The spirit of Justice's bust is exposed. And Johnny was in distress. That bodacious bosom is not how we'd choose 'em, and here she was standing half-dressed. The lady's a tramp, an aluminum vamp, a lewd and lascivious slut. To cover her shape, he spent 8 Ks to drape and, disappear all of her smut. To cover her shape, he spent 8 Ks to drape and disappear all of her smut. While he's out buying yardage, the nuclear garbage, the warfare is piling up. Free speech he reduces, surveillance abuses to fill up this oversized cup. We've a right to bear arms, but we can't bear breast, especially over his shoulder. The biggest bra in the world for this spirited girl, this 13-foot centerfolder. The biggest bra in the world for this spirited girl, this 13-foot centerfolder. This Hall of Justice hooter, you can't dispute her, symbol of nurture and strength. of women's survival, their freedom's revival. Perhaps it's a matter of length. In his secret prayer meetings, Johnny is treating justice with mockery. Oh, he's in a snit 'cause she bared her tit, her metal memory. Sing it with me now. Oh, he's in a snit 'cause she bared her tit, her metal memory. Fear is his ministry, not civil liberty. Illegal detentions are in. For him to feel masculine, he'll teach our heroine feminine discipline. His searching and seizure, invading our leisure, spying with wiretaps, pathologically lying and racial profiling, keeping justice under wraps. Pathologically lying and racial profiling, keeping justice under wraps. Oh, and puppets are outlawed, only outlaws have puppets here in the US of A. If there's a boob in the White House, why not injustice? It's the American way. If there's a boob in the White House, why not injustice? It's the American way. Thank you. To complicate things, that just went down the wrong pipe. Well, we're going to do one more. And then we're going to take a break. And then we'll be back for more. And thank you for your patience. Now, those of you who have been to my website will notice that my list of corporate sponsors is not particularly long. So, if you would be so kind as to avail yourself to the sales table, we will gladly meet you there at the break. Sueño con serpientes. I dream of snakes, I dream of serpents. I dream of getting over this. I dream of whatever the oppression might be in your life. Written by Silvio Rodriguez from Cuba, one could assume he's writing in the context of U.S. imperialism. But every night this serpent comes to me in my dream and tries to swallow me, but I fight it off, I kill it. Comes back the next night larger, but I kill it. Every subsequent evening larger until it is so large it swallows me. But as I pass through the esophagus into the belly of the beast, I destroy it by planting a verse of truth. Sueño con serpientes por Silvio Rodriguez. Sueño con serpientes del mar, con cierto mar, con Sueño con serpientes del mar, con cierto mar, con serpientes sueño yo. Largas y transparentes, y en sus barrigas lleven lo que pueden arrebatarle al amor. Oh, la mató y aparece una mayor. Con mucho más infierno en digestión. No quepo en su boca, me trata de tragar, pero se atora con un treble de mi sien. Creo que está loca. Le doy de masticar una paloma y la enveneno de mi bien. Oh, la mató y aparece una mayor. Oh, con mucho más infierno en digestión. Esta fin me engulle, y mientras por su esófago paseo, voy pensando en qué vendrá. Pero se destruye cuando llego a su estómago y planteo con un verso una verdad. Oh, la mató y aparece una mayor. Oh, con mucho más infierno en digestión. Sueño con serpientes del mar, con cierto mar hay, con serpientes sueño yo. Thank you. Okay, take about 15, we'll be back.